Greetings out there, YouTube land from the planet Earth. Right? I just love to chat, and the sad part is no real place to go on here after. They forget it's a global planet. One game I played, because I go there to write for the Lord. I started years ago because, hey, terminally ill, nothing better to do. And I got to talk with fellow computer people. But, I gave up on that a while ago, terminal opera, hanging on. I was having strokes, heart attacks. I want to have a little bit of fun, and here I could talk to some people around the world and see how it's going over there. You hear stories, but how many of you ever take the time to want to go out there and, hey, talk to somebody from there? Hey, what's it like there? Is it really like it shows on the news? And you'd be surprised how you meet some really nice guys, right? Now, we can either speak life or death. Some people don't really realize that, right? But you really can. And I learned that thing from, especially when Jesus showed me something I did between grade 4 and 5, right? Well, I spoke death and I didn't even realize it, right? And it changed a person's destiny, right? If I kept my mouth shut or not said anything or spoke life, it would have been a different story. But I didn't even know these things. And here I am. We can all influence people with the way we speak, okay? Now, my little problems, I was talking with my friend there, Steve, in England for a while, right? And he retired early to spend time with his ill wife and his daughter. I talked with an atheist and explained the situation in a way that he can understand it and make sense to him. And he was like yelling at God and all that. And most of you would have thought he would have punched you in the face if you talked to him. That's how he was at that first time, right? And sometimes you got to know when to back up. I don't recommend going like an enemy's face. I don't. He had a bad day. When I mentioned Jesus, he just exploded because it was a bad day for him. He came back to apologize. Said, I thought what you said, I really do love Jesus. I just, I don't know why I said that or whatever. He was an alcoholic. Right? He came back twice today, and he felt different inside. He puts his hand in his chest here. I don't know what it is. I feel different. And instead of going drinking, he stayed and talked to me, went to the store to go buy himself a cigar, and came back. The point is, Jesus can make a difference in a person's life. Either you speak life or death, right? Here's a guy who didn't want to have anything to do. God blamed God for everything that's going wrong on the planet, right? Until he realized that Satan's in the game, right? He explained the situation, right? And I was like, whoa, nobody ever takes the time to explain it to some people, right? I do better in person, though, because you can relate to the person. It's hard when you're just talking to the screen, you basically, and you get no feedback. I can't ask you questions and things like that, it makes it more difficult. I'm more of a hands-on person. I admit it, right? I write for the Lord, and every time I feel like am I doing it? Am I getting anywhere? Is anybody hearing me? I'm screaming from the wilderness, but I'm just a whisper in the winds to them, right? Does anybody even notice God, right? All of a sudden, boom, people make comments like the one guy from Bangladesh saying, oh, thank you for the encouragement. He really needed it, right? And this guy is risking his life daily by being a Christian in an area where these gangs come at you with machetes and hack you up for being a Christian, right? You can't even write anything about it. Boom, they come and get you, right? There's so many other places they do that too. If you carry a Bible in Saudi Arabia, it's a death. Obama built them soccer stadiums, as we know, or whatever else the state's been doing it, and they don't use it for soccer. They go in there for the daily head choppings, and they go there for grins and giggles to watch and cut people's heads off, right? Either you can speak life or you can speak death. That's a powerful thing. What are you speaking? What kind of representative are you of Jesus when you walk your walk in your daily life? Are you doing the bad things that you shouldn't be doing? Like I saw that drove me away from Jesus when he wanted me to lay hands and help people. I stopped the laying of hands part because I got yelled at by a pastor the whole 9 yards. I just said, whoa, this is Christian. I don't want to have anything to do with these people. I'll go and help people get off drugs and all that. So I went to a native reserve that was nearby, and I helped people get off drugs and things like that and alcohol. But I thought I knew that God wanted me to do something. I just thought, well, I could do this instead. That was my fault, right? I was young. I didn't know anything. Nobody had ever told me about Jesus my whole life, right? So I was a late bloomer, as you can say, right? And the thing is, I tried. How many of you are trying? If you don't try, you've buried your bag of gold. Pay attention to that. Look in Matthew 25 if you don't remember where it's at or know what I'm talking about, right? He gave some people bags of gold, okay? And what they did with them really mattered. And you out there have been given a bag of gold, some of you may not realize it, or more. And the master is coming soon. Jesus is coming here, right? And what have you done with your bag of gold? I ask people. And a lot of them don't even know what I'm talking about. And they carry Bibles. It's good old Matthew 25, where it speaks about the virgins and the lack of oil for some. And it talks to you about the left and right hand of God, the goats and the sheep, all in one beautiful page. And most people never even pay any attention. We are actually living in the Bible. It's going on right now all around us. There was a before, and we're here now. There's us, and there's a soon to come that we haven't in yet. So you are really a Bible character, actually living the Bible. So are you a Bible hero or a Bible zero? Will you stand tall in faith for Jesus or not? Come on. I asked one guy earlier, right, in a chat room, because I saw that he used to tell Chris he could do chat rooms. And hey, take a peek at my page. Do you think it's warrants me building another website for it or not, right? Because I was scared. I'll tell you, I was scared. I didn't really want to do these videos. I held back, and I was just writing for the Lord, right? That was more of my comfort zone because public speaking, I didn't really want to get into it, He had me alone for a while. I needed to be alone for a while. And so I was, right? A very long time, right? He had me alone. But I had to learn something like John from his cave, right? And I had to learn a few things and he made sure I learned them, right? And this is all before he spoke to me. I started doing videos before he healed me. I didn't really want to do them, but he wanted me to do them. I got around to doing them. I was nervous. I was scared. And here I am talking to you right now. If you're not willing to take that chance for Jesus and to step out, right? You think those apostles had done that before? Come on. They're fishing. They're doing whatever else. And also he says, come with me, right? Follow me. Did they hesitate? No, right? But why are you? What makes you different? What makes you more special to them? Some think they're all high and mighty, like to raise themselves up, but they forget Jesus washed the feet. They're looking around for service because these guys had cash. Don't let anybody fool you, right? A few times they gave a little bit because they had varying amounts of cash from whatever they had. When there was a famine going, the two guys solved, if you remember, so they could go get provisions for the people there, right? Not all of them were poor. They're used to having servants come and wash their feet, but instead, Jesus does it. He walked around humbly, he wasn't all fancy, and he didn't even have a place to rest his head. Some of these guys, they get raised up on pedestals, and they get these flocks. It's supposed to be Jesus's, theirs. They own them pretty much, and the flocks are bowing down to him and worshiping him like their God instead of giving God the glory. When you raise a man up that high, whoa, problems happen, right? Lack of communication when they won't talk back and won't message people. I've heard about that, and you see it. But what are you doing about it? Are you doing your part for Jesus? Many of you have a story how Jesus moved in your life. Have you been telling it? Has God been wanting you to tell it, but you haven't? You held back? Learn from my mistakes and get it out. And don't delay. Because the minute I started doing it, God is so richly blessed. Every time I turn around, I'm getting richly blessed, right? And it's just like the Israelites. When they didn't listen to God, they got punished. But when they did listen to God, they got rewarded, right? Wow, Learn from that. Learn from the Bible because you are in it. You are actually a Bible character as I'm speaking. The Bible is unfolding all around us every day. And until it ends or you die, you're still a Bible character. And your story can still be written or remains to be finished. How's it going to end? Are you a good guy of the Bible or a bad? Are you a Ruth or a Jezebel? Think about it. Are you a David or are you a Goliath? Because we know what happened with there. God gave you free will to decide if you're a flower or a garden or a weed. A flower or a weed in his garden, right? But Matthew 25 at the bottom puts it nice and simply. Either you're a goat that goes on the left and rides a slide, or you're the sheep that sticks to the right hand side of God. That's why I always say get right with God, right? That's the way it works. Think about it. Bye bye.